Hey guys, this is Coach Edwards here with LacrosseGoalieTips.com and LacrosseGoalieUniversity.com. Are you a member of Lacrosse Goalie University yet? If you're not, I'm surprised because there is just so much content, so much coaching content in there. And you get a free goalie critique when you join. I can't really make it any cheaper than it is, but I tell you, man, people will go out and spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on equipment, but they won't spend a couple bucks on their information. So you got a ton of free information here on the blog. I'm happy to give that out, but really, I would love to see you inside Lacrosse Goalie University. You will not be disappointed, and I guarantee it. So if you don't like it, by all means, it's 100% guaranteed, like all my stuff. If I can't help you, I don't want your money. But if I can help you and you get value in it, then I'd love to have you in there. So anyway, I got a Facebook message from Max in Germany, which was super cool. Max, hello. And he had a question. He had one of his lacrosse goalie buddies, and I'm paraphrasing just because I don't have the Facebook message on my phone. I've got a different account on my phone, and I'm just being lazy because I didn't print it off. But Max wrote me a note and said his buddy said that they had read a book and had heard that they should weight their goalie stick so that it would rotate better in their hands. And he hadn't heard that and wondered what my thoughts were on that. So Max, this is a great question, and I think I can attribute this concept to John Weston, who is the goalie man. And John is a pioneer of lacrosse goalie coaches, and I know he's a friend of the blog. And so John, if you're reading this, thank you. I'm sorry we didn't get to hook up in Denver, but I had to hightail it out of there sooner than I had really anticipated, which was disappointing because I wanted to see you play in that Ultra Masters division or whatever it was. But I'm jealous that I wasn't in there too. But anyway, so the concept here is that your stick has a balance point. Okay, so if I take my finger, and this is a really old stick with a really crappy ball stop, but anyway, I digress. So if I take my finger and just like this, and try to balance the stick, depending on how long your shaft is, the balance point is going to be somewhere, ideally, it's somewhere beneath your hand, okay? Now, this is a bit of a trade-off, right? So when we talk about stick length and shaft length, I have an attack length shaft on my goalie stick. I'm about 5'7" and a quarter, 5'8" inches tall. And so I wouldn't go much shorter than that. But you could go longer than that. And by going longer than that, what's going to happen is that balance point, my balance point is somewhere probably up in the plastic. It's probably up right here. It's just at the base of it's just at like the throat of the stick. All right, so it's somewhere in here. So there you go. All right, so it's basically right there. Now for me, with this stick, this mesh, this shaft, that's a pretty good balance point. It's not too bad. And what that does, and what Coach Weston had really nailed down, is this concept that the stick then rotates, it balances. And so when you're going to shots that are off stick high, when you're going to shots that are off stick low, and you've got to rotate that stick around, then that stick's going to do that easy. Now, if your stick has a very long shaft, your balance point may be down here. That may make it it should make it easier to rotate the stick, but it then becomes more of a push instead of a rotation. Two concepts here. I like the idea of weighting your stick, and all you're doing is you would be weighting the butt end, and we're talking like baby weights. We're not talking you're going to put a 5-pound weight on the bottom of this thing. We're talking like you're going to your favorite like fishing store, like Bass Pro Shops or something like that, and you're getting like those little lead weights, and you're going to glue them inside the shaft, the bottom, and that's going to help balance out your stick. The concept I talk about in Lacrosse Goalie University, though, is I'm trying to get goalies to start thinking of not just always rotating the stick to off stick high, off stick low, off stick hip, but really, getting a bottom hand on those saves, starting to make some more deflections, because why take a perfectly good piece of equipment out of the way when you can basically just keep it there, like almost like a blocker in hockey, right? Why take this hand out of the way and try to basically get the head of your stick all the way down and across? So many goals are given up that I don't think should be given up anymore. We need to evolve as a goalie, and we need to change the game, all right? And the way we're going to change the game is by basically doing what I call offset goaltending, all right? Don't be playing 50-50 goalie. Get off to your left or to your off stick side. Take a little bit more of the cage away. Give up more on your stick side because that's where you're strongest, right? Now, that takes out the rotation issue. That takes out the weighting issue because basically you're going to be spending more time making saves on your stick side than on your off stick side. Okay, so, but anyway, Max in Germany, great question. I don't mind weighting the stick. Again, we're talking ounces. And until someone does the science for me and we start to really dissect just what we're giving up, right? You know, how much, if we put an extra quarter of an ounce on the stick, how much is that slowing us down to make the save, right? That's really what we're talking about here. Is are we going to be giving up saves? Are we going to be making more saves? That's the question. Now, I think the weighting the stick, again, it's a valid point. It's a valid concept. I think it has merit. But again, I think, Max, we're probably nitpicking a little bit here. Okay, so don't sweat it too much. All right. So I'm Coach Edwards. Have you messed around with weight in your stick? Have you messed around with shaft length, different mesh, things like that? I'd be happy to hear what you've got going on. Leave me a comment below. Do me a favor, Facebook, like it, share it, tweet it, Google Plus it, LinkedIn, whatever the verb for LinkedIn is. But and feel free to email me with Coach Edwards at lacrossegoalietips.com, and I'll talk to you real soon. Cheers.